YouTube tarot reader Lisa Lee has been found using bad language during her twice-weekly live streams. In a shocking turn of events, it has also been discovered that she will not tell you what you want to hear, only what you need to know. The internet is in collective shock that authenticity is alive and well in this corner of the YouTube meta space. Do not watch if you are easily offended.
Yes, indeed. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are on this wonderful planet of ours. Hello, everybody. My name is Lisa, and this is Beyond Authentic. We do tarot readings here. Yes, we do. And if you've just joined and you weren't on the members only, everybody just got introduced to my lovely skink. That's not a euphemism, a skink. It's a blue-tongued skink. So yes, everybody met Toth today. Some of you have met her before on the channel if you've been here for a while. But yes, Toth was today's special guest on the stream, which was really cool. So yes, hello. Hello to everybody. I hope you are all extremely well today. I'm actually feeling quite good. I haven't gone out and done a boot sale today. I have had a recovery day today, so I've been sleeping a lot and generally having a nice relaxed afternoon. I actually got to hang out in my favourite spot today, in my absolute favourite spot in the universe. Do you know where that is? Take a guess, everybody, where my favourite spot in the universe is. Have a guess. I'll let you all guess in the live chat. Have a guess. Excuse me. Have a guess. Go on. Put a comment in. I tell you what. If anyone's right, I will send you out a random free gift. How about that? Put a comment in the comments section where you think my favorite spot in the universe is. The beach. No, it wasn't the beach. It wasn't the beach. Hello. But yes, try again. Anybody else? I'll send you a Witch Casket free gift if you get it. Hello, Eliza. Where is my favourite spot in the whole universe? Any idea? Yours is your bed. Mine isn't my bed, but well done, Melinda. That was a good idea. It's not the bedroom. I mean, it can be the bedroom, technically. I will tell you. Oh, very close, Holland. Wherever Rufus is, very close. It is actually snuggled up. It isn't Eliza, but good guess. Good guess. It is snuggled up, right, in Rufus's arms. So Rufus is here, and I snuggle in just like this, where on his armpit almost, like just under his arm, just like that, with my head on his chest. That is my favourite spot in the entire world. My favorite, like the universe. That is my comfort place. And so yeah, that is my comfort place. And today we were on the sofa, and I was just like, oh, I'm just gonna snuggle, and I did a little snuggle just into there like that, and I'm all like, because that's one of the few places in my life where I completely let all of my guards down, and I just go, I am completely safe. I am 100% safe. I don't have to think about anything, worry about anything. My brain, my ADHD brain, that is constantly going, danger, meh, meh, where is things, meh, meh. All of that goes quiet. And my brain that normally goes, oh, and then we've got to do this. And don't forget, tomorrow we've got a deadline. So I must get that done by tomorrow. And I must ring that company. And I probably should have rung them yesterday, but never mind. I'll ring them tomorrow and I'll do that. And then I've also got to do this. And then I've got to do that. And don't forget, we've got to make the bed tomorrow. My brain actually goes, it's blissful. It's nice at night time having a cuddle, but it's better during the day because it just gives me that moment where everything stops. My ADHD brain just goes, oh, this is nice. And it's just so blissful. Oh, Angie, thank you ever so much. I'm sure you asked this last week. Oh, thank you, Holland. We're couple goals. Do you know what? It's just, I've never had it. I've never had like that connection with someone where just being snuggled shuts my brain up. It literally is like the best ever ADHD medication because everything just goes, So wonderful. Anyway, I wish everybody has that in their life. I wish everybody a snuggle spot. I really do. So, Angie, let's have a look. What are Faisal's feelings and intentions with you? I'm sure you asked this last week, my darling. I am sure you asked this last week. Just an update. Okay, my darling, I will do what I can for you, my darling. I will do what I can. Yours will be the first cab off the rank. Yes. Oh, thank you. Hello. Thank you. It is. Do you know what? I never thought I'd have that in my life. But anyway, you were going to say on the sofa with Rufus. I know. I am so. I should learn to shut up, really, because I know a lot of people don't have that special thing, that connection. But and I'm not shouting about it. I'm just saying. Because I've never had it either until now. So, right then, I feel bad now. I wish everybody watching this and everybody in the world that safe spot, whether it be on your own or with another person, that makes you feel like that. I wish it all for everybody. Right then, let's do some housekeeping. So we're going to click this and I need to change the members. So Angie, you will be the first cab off the rank. What is going on with this? Just bear with me 1 second. So everybody, you do please remember on this channel that tarot is for entertainment purposes only. You do make all of your own decisions about your own life, and tarot should never be used to replace medical advice, legal advice, financial advice or counselling advice. If you are looking for support in those areas, please do seek out professionals in those areas, okay? This is not professional advice. Also, you do have to be 18 years of age or over to get a reading on this channel, and please make sure you keep your personal information personal. Do not accidentally or purposefully dox yourself. It's not worth it here on the interwebs. Yes, we are a micro channel. We've barely got 1,300 subscribers at the moment. But be aware that YouTube and Google and all of these internet search companies, they will all be able to search through millions and billions and cajillions amounts of tiny bits of data. So if ever they want to know what Joe Bloggs was thinking and doing way back in 2024, they will be able to track you even onto channels the size of mine. So do please keep what you put in the comment section. Just be aware of what you're putting in the comment section, basically. Don't forget, if you do want a full tarot reading that goes into everything, it's normally at least a 10 card spread, normally 2 spreads. So normally you're looking at a good hour long, 3/4 an hour to an hour long reading. You can book those over at my website, which is beyondauthentic.co.uk, and you can ask any question there. I mean, let's just say you can't ask where to bury the body, right? You can't ask things like that, or you can't ask how's long to end in the snow. If you know, you know. You can't do things like that, right? I still won't answer medical questions, but if you are looking for in-depth readings, do go over and have a look at that. Yeah, absolutely. Big Brother is watching, and we know that for a fact. Okay, we absolutely know that for a fact. It is 100%. 100% that, if that makes sense. So do please just watch yourself and watch your own security, really, is what it comes down to. Right then, so with all of that said, I do have a super chat in. So there are 2 ways to get a reading on this channel. The first way is to send it as a super chat, as Angie has done. Once you send a super chat, what happens is you go up on a special screen on my end, and it means that you will be next for a reading. If I get multiple super chats at the same time, I'll do them in the order they come in, and then we open up a free round. Okay, and a free round, you'll hear me say it, it will come up on screen, the mods will let you all know. That is when it's time to put your question into the live chat, starting with the word question. Okay, don't do that right now because I do have a super chat in from Angie, and we're going to see if there's any change in Faisal's feelings towards them right now. So all of that being said, it is time for Angie's reading. So then, Angie, your reading is going to come up straight after this. we have a super strong connection here. Right. Oh my God! Right then, Angie, let's have a look. So, as always, by the way, the deck we're using today, I'm going old school. Well, sort of old school. We're using the Radiant Rider-Waite Smith, because we can never forget Pamela Coleman Smith's like her influence on tarot. She designed and drew and painted all of the original Rider-Waite Smith deck, and so even though this doesn't recognize her name, we always recommend her name. An amazing artist, and an amazing black woman from back in the day who managed to basically, she created this and never got the recognition in her lifetime. Can you believe it? Can you believe creating something as iconic, as monumentally well known as this particular deck and this particular style of the artwork, and she's not even mentioned on the name on the decks? It's generally just called the Rider-Waite Tarot. Absolutely bonkers. So Pamela Coleman Smith, you are still a legend, my darling, and we recognize you as such. And there's a witchy shop, a bookshop in London, a witchy bookshop that has her fireplace, and I went down and did a little pilgrimage, and I don't know what I was expecting, but it was a lovely fireplace. But I was kind of expecting, I don't know, because once she did the artwork, she never became famous or anything in her lifetime for doing it. And so kind of, I was expecting some sort of, you know, in memoriam of, or things like that. And it was just a very ordinary bookcase. Excuse me, I just need to fix this thing with my light. It was a very ordinary bookcase, and sort of, yeah, it wasn't, there was no, I don't know, there was no pomp or circumstance, but apparently that is how she lived her life. So yay. Right then, let me have a look then, Angie. We're going to use this. Yes, absolutely. Oh gosh, absolutely. Let me have a look. She was an amazing woman. There's a book somewhere that goes into her life story. I would totally recommend. Why is this at such a weird angle? Sorry, is it me? Sorry everyone, you know me. First reading, I've got to have a little shuffle around with the cloths. There we go, perfect. Yeah, she was an amazing woman. She didn't get any recognition for doing all these 78 paintings. She got paid for it, and then that was it. Never any no what's it called where they get payments afterwards? No stipend or whatever it's called. Excuse me. No recognition, no, and very little work afterwards. Very little work afterwards. She died a very, very poor, very, very poor woman. She just absolutely amazing. Anyway, right, that's the deck we're using. So we ring the bell, we bring in Wispy. Good evening to Wispy. So again, this isn't the original Rider-Waite. This is the Rider-Waite Smith that has been up to the color and the color saturation a little bit has all been bumped just to make it a little bit brighter for today's market, I guess, for today's audience. So yes, right then, Wispy, what we want to know, my darling, is what are Faisal's feelings and intentions towards Angie? That's what we want to know. I tell you what, Angie, we're going to do, because we've got a traditional deck, let's do a traditional spread. Yay! Let's do the horseshoe, the 7-card horseshoe spread. So then, that's what we're going to do. Wispy, 7-card horseshoe for Angie. Right then, so what are Faisal's feelings and intentions for you? Intentions towards you. Let's go for it. We're going to do your drop. Okay, now it's going again. Oh, it feels like it's going to go again. Nope, that's it. Right then, there's your drop. So then, the 7-card horseshoe. Is the camera going to need to go up even further? Probably not. Right, past. Ooh, the Fool. Past, present, the Empress. Gorgeous, gorgeous, my favourite card. Past, present, influence, the obstacle, just about see that there, the awareness of others, the advice, and the outcome. Ooh, right. Okay, a complete mixed bag, my darling. Let me just see if I can move these up a little bit so I can raise that above the little thing on screen. There we go. So, 7-card spread. In the past, we've got the Fool. So let me click on. We've got a few majors actually coming up. So in the Fool, what does the Fool say about the past with you and Faisal? It isn't talking. It isn't saying that you are a fool or there is a foolishness. It's saying there is a certain naivete coming in that relationship. A certain amount of, we're doing this for almost the first time, if that makes sense. And you can see with the Fool, it's quite dandyish. It's quite, this is not the court jester, right? This is not the Fool as in that type of depiction. This is the Fool as somebody who is going perhaps naively out into the world. Perhaps this person has been protected from the real world a little bit, protected from the, you know, the harshness of the real world, and they're just walking down the street. It's almost like this person has lived in such a little place of white privilege, and now they're walking down the street and they're going into areas that they've never gone before, and they're going to be saying to people, "Oh, hello, kind sir. May I trouble you for a glass of water?" And they're in an area where, you know, there is no running water and people are starving, and this person's just happily, you know what I mean? It's that sort of vibe that this Fool gives off. It's this idea of it being naive to the point of it being almost unbelievably naive. Does that make sense? And so in a relationship term, what Faisal could be feeling, it's almost like complete naivety walking in, whether it's a virgin first relationship type vibe. It feels like it's a very new situation. We've got the Empress coming in the present. Now this is interesting because when we're looking at it in a romantic position, the Empress is almost, as it's on this card, it's almost a motherly figure. So it could be that Faisal thinks of you as that motherly, kind of in that motherly role. The Empress for me is all about abundance. I love the card so much. As I keep saying, she's going to be a tattoo. I just need to work out exactly what design I want from her, but she is a wonderful card of abundance. She's got a lot on offer. You can see the wheat here in the foreground because again, there's an abundance of wheat, which means there's flour, so there's bread, there's always going to be food. We've got the this is roses actually all over her frock, which is obviously emotion, it's love and all of that. She's got the crown, she's got the scepter, she's got money, but this isn't about money. The abundance we get with the Empress is that abundance of love, abundance for everybody. She's never going short. She's that character in the tarot deck that if you go up to her and say, Your Highness, your Empress, I am in need, could I have? She will give whatever it is that you're asking, basically, and she'll give it with love and she'll support that. But again, it is very mothering energy, so it may be that Faisal looks upon you as doing that sort of caregiver motherly role that the Empress brings. And also, if there is a financial, you know, if you are financially better well off than Faisal, it could well be that that element is there as well. The influence, we've got the Knight of Cups reversed. Now this is interesting, coming opposite the Fool in the past, because the influence is almost like Faisal's trying to be a player, because the thing about the Knight of Cups is the Knight of Cups tends to be a player, because knights are that sort of tempestuous teenage type energy, that really fast acting, gonna go ahead and do these things now. In the Suit of Cups, it's almost like, look, the knight is going off and going, "Hello, my fair maiden, would you like a cup of gold? Oh yes, I shall bestow on you my cup of gold." Goes to the next village, gives another fair maiden a cup of gold, and it's only when they bugger off that the maidens realise it's brass with a gold plate. Not worth anything. Do you know what I mean? But, "Oh, fair maiden, I love you so much, here is my golden cup." It's that sort of player element that the knights bring. It is reversed, so it almost feels like Faisal wants to do this, but there isn't that element there. So it's like it's like the influence isn't that Faisal is being the Knight of Cups. It's that Faisal can't be the Knight of Cups that they're wanting to be. Does that make sense? Because of this reversal. The really interesting card with all of this, in the obstacle position, you've got the Sun reversed. Now, the Sun itself is a card of growth. It's a card of positive energy. It's a card of vitality, but it's also a card that is often linked with children, with newborns, with that energy that is moving, because it's a card of growth and moving life forward. It's often depicted as being an indication that there is a child on its way, or the child will be with you soon, type of thing. But this is reversed in the obstacle position. So this is saying that maybe one of you wants children and one of you doesn't. Maybe one of you is planning that longer term kind of commitment with kids and everything that involves, and maybe one of you really isn't there and cannot see the relationship going there. It's an interesting card when it comes up in this position, because as an obstacle, it really is saying that this abundance of positive energy, this abundance of warmth and nurturing, life-giving energy, is actually the blockage of that energy is this obstacle, if that makes sense. If it was this way up, then the energy itself is this way up. It's the blockage of that energy, the denial of that energy coming in. That is the blockage here. That is the obstacle. So it almost feels like you both want different things out of a longer term relationship. In the awareness of others, right? So how other people are viewing things. We've got the Judgment card. Now, Judgment is a really harsh card at times, because what it literally is it's the angel calling forth the spirit of the dead to be judged as to be worthy or not for a place in heaven, right? It's very, very Christian in its design in the original form. But you can see that, and it's almost like people around you are saying, what the hell are you doing? Like, what is going on with you two? Like, this is not what we expect. And the fact that it's reversed and you're asking about Faisal's feelings and intentions, I think Faisal is being judged about this relationship really, really harshly, because it literally is saying, like, you're being judged by other people, and that judgment is falling short because it's reversed. It's like this way. Oh yeah, look, you've got a list on a piece of paper. It says here, column A is all the good things you've done in life, column B is all the bad things, and you're like here and here, right? This, when you're being judged this harshly, it's almost like the lines are here somewhere, and it's like, on balance, you know, are you going to have been a really wonderful person or not? Bear with me, I just need to blow a candle out. Do you know what I mean? So it's like that judgment from other people is still a bit harsh, because on the positive side, it might be like, oh, saved a child's life from drowning, saved an adult's life from being knocked over, gave first aid to someone who pulled through. And on the negative side, library book was late, didn't wash up when I said I would. And they're really unfairly judging, like, and it's not like for like. Do you know what I mean? So it's like the negative, every little tiny thing is getting expanded into a big thing, whereas every big thing on the positive side is getting shrunk down. So it's almost like it doesn't matter because that prejudgment is there. The advice, the Queen of Swords is the advice, which is very interesting, because the Queen of Swords is saying that you need to basically be a bit of a bitch, be a bit hardcore, be a bit like, put your foot down and say what you want, and be a bit more demanding, because what this is all saying is that Faisal is really kind of I don't know if he's giving really young energy, because again, that could be why the sun's reversed here. But it does feel, especially with you being the Empress and them seeing you as that Empress figure, that motherly, nurturing, caregiving figure, it almost is saying that Faisal's coming in really, really young. And the advice then would be, you need to lay down the law. You need to come in, not to be the mother, but to almost be the... I was about to say the mistress, but that's not what I mean at all. Like the school mistress. Do you know what I mean? The dominant one. You need to come and lay down that law, tell exactly what you want from the relationship. And yes, swords are normally obstacles, hardships and things like that. But this may well be the hurdles that you have to put in place for Faisal to jump to make sure that he's worthy. The one thing I would say, we've got in the outcome position, we've got the 10 of Swords. And Swords is that trouble and strife. Swords is that difficult hurdles, hardships and obstacles. And this is the 10. And you've often heard me say every single time I do a reading on this channel that the 9 is full, the 10 is overflowing, right? So I think there is a lot of issues here, possibly too much for Faisal to handle, because your question is fundamentally about what he's going to do. There is a lot of obstacles, and it may well be that Faisal isn't going to be able to deal with all of the obstacles in play, right? It may well be that it's just too much. This youthful energy, as well, as much as it's really positive in terms of an existing relationship where you've got that excitement, you've got that vitality coming in, it can also be too much if the person's too young to handle that amount of power and that amount of energy in the relationship. Does that make sense? So hopefully, my darling, that gives you some answers. It does feel like you are going to have to be the one to make decisions, and that Faisal just isn't ready. Now, that might be too much. The way that Faisal's being judged by others and prejudged, it might be that Faisal is never going to step up to that relationship kind of element with you, because it's really, really tough. The only thing I can say, my darling, is that you might have to lay down that law to get what you want from this relationship, if you want a relationship long term with Faisal. I hope that helps, my darling. I really, really do. And thank you ever so much for your question. And thank you for the super chat, Angie. I really do hope it helps. Right then, let me swap the camera back over and I'll come into the live chat and put the cards away. There we go. Hello, everybody. Let's have a look in the comments section. Right, let's have a look. He's younger than you. Yep, absolutely. That makes sense. That's why we've got the younger energy. Financially better off than him. Yep. Haven't spoken in 4 years. You're 9 years old, almost 40. Okay. And your time is ticking with children. That's the sun reversed. He's Muslim and you're not. Oh, God. That'll be the judgment card then. So this is all fitting into place. He lives in poverty in Bangladesh and you're in Florida, not rich, but not the same living situation. My darling, oh, thank you. Thank you, Rufus. Look at what, oh, you couldn't see. I realised I was on the wrong camera, but there you go. Look, got a lovely coffee. Thank you, love. Love you. Oh, my darling. The one thing I will say, right, apart from the Empress, which is a pretty major card of abundance, it doesn't feel like there's a lot of pentagram energy here. It doesn't feel like he's after you for your money and that he's chasing you for that money, if that makes sense. It doesn't feel like that at all. It feels much more that he sees you, yeah, as that, I mean, the Empress would be that maternal figure and that figure of being caring and helping and uplifting. So that could be where the financial element comes in. But, and yes, and this and that. Thank you, Judy. I'll get you next, my darling. So yeah, it could absolutely be that that's where that is coming from. it does feel like he has got an interest there. It feels like with that Knight of Cups and with that being the influence, it feels like he wants to be that that lover, that boyfriend. It really does feel like he wants to be there for you, but also do be aware that it also really does feel like, you know, he's seeing you in that Empress guise. What I would say, my darling, is there are a lot of issues there. Whether it's surmountable, whether it's something that you can get through or not, is going to be up to you. That Queen of Swords in the advice, that could also be if his mum is part of that judgment card and judging him really harshly and is being quite negative towards the relationship. That could also be something you need to tackle if that Queen of Swords is related to his mother. If I've got the strongest feeling, it might be related to you and saying, look, you are going to have to put down these boundaries. You're going to have to decide how you want this to go. Just be careful. I've seen too many episodes of Catfish, and I've seen too many episodes of 90 Day Fiancé and all of that stuff to be fully 100% believing people who are in an area which is very, very, very difficult to live, getting involved with people in an area where life is comparatively quite easy and the standards of living are a lot different, if you get in my drift. There's a big difference between Bangladesh and Florida. Okay, Neil's just sent me a whole thing about and Patricia about Pamela Coleman Smith. I need to read the book. I really do. He's very insecure. That's why you stopped talking. Listen, it's entirely up to you, my darling, right? It is entirely up to you. I know of people that have got together and had relationships with people where they've come from, you know, they've met online and they've had incredibly successful relationships. And I also know of a lot of people who met online and it was all about the green card or the UK citizenship and all of that. Do you know what I mean? I know a lot more people that was the outcome than a successful relationship. So yeah, hopefully, my darling, it helps. I would say that 10 of Swords at the end for the outcome, that is almost unsurmountable. Do you know what I mean? That is almost a deal breaker for me, looking at it, because it really does feel as if, even if Faisal's, look, let's put it the most positive way we can. Even if Faisal is head over heels in love with you, right? If his entire family is not on board and is against that relationship, and if his entire family see you as, you know, too old for him, all of that, and if he isn't able to want to move to Florida and abandon all of that and to be with you in a way that is going to support you as well, rather than just being that one-way street, then it might be best to consider this a lost cause, and to move forward and look for a new relationship that might be have a little less stacked against it, if that makes sense, my darling. But I hope that helps. And again, thank you ever so much for your donation. It's very kind. And I wish you nothing but the very best, Angie. Let us know how you go. Oh, the world's ending. Let us know how you go, and I hope that helps, my darling. But thank you ever so much for your question. Let me just turn my phone off. I'll tell you what, Judy, you're going to be up next while we get to Judy and I sort my phone out, because everything is bleeping and ticking and making noises. So I will hit this and then we'll have Judy up after this. Okay, right then, let's have a look. Judy, my darling, your question is... I have a dream... What? I keep a dream journal and would like to know what messages these dreams are trying to tell me, please. Thank you, Lisa. Absolutely no problem. Let's go on with that one then. So let's swap the camera over. Don't forget, everybody, you can join our memberships from just $2.99 a month. That's Great British pounds. And if you want to be a part of all of the shenanigans, it is just £5 a month, and you get to come and hang out with us. You get to see me do... Oh no, hang on a second. We'll just reverse that one. There we go. Right, you get to see when we do unboxings live and also tarot reviews live and things like that, and also you get to give me ideas for future videos. So I'm going to be doing one on the American election and also on the British elections. Both of those are to come, so yeah, look out for those. Right then, Wispy, and members will get to have the members only live for those, and then they'll get edited down into a more watchable, slightly shorter format for the main channel. So Wispy, Judy would like to know, they keep a dream journal and she'd like to know what messages these dreams are trying to tell her, please. What messages are the dreams trying to tell Judy? So what messages from the Akashic can you pick up on, Wispy, for our lovely Judy? After this, everybody, if we don't get a... Oh, there's two cards. That doesn't count, Wispy. After this, everybody... Now, that really doesn't count. Look at that. Silly bugger. Silly bugger, Wispy. I know, you're excited. After this reading is what I'm trying to say, everybody, is I'll open up another free round if we don't get another super chat. If you would like to guarantee your space, your question is next, then do send it as a super chat. Right then. I'm not listening to you, Wispy. None of these cards are flipped, so they don't count. You know the rules by now. Right then, so let's have a look for Judy. Do the drop. And a dream journal. So what we'll do, Wispy, we'll do the standard, where you are, what you need to know, and what the opportunity is. But we'll do it as an inverted triangle with going deeper and deeper each level. Okay, so the root will be what the dream's ultimate message is. The top level is what Judy can do and what she needs to know, and that second level will be like the more intense. So we go practical, emotional, root. Okay, Wispy, that's what we're doing. Practical, emotional, root. Mundane, emotional, root. The core in one word. So then, in where you are now, King of Cups. Okay, lots of romantic energy around you. Could be coming from a male figure, an authority figure. Kings can sometimes represent, you know, parents, fathers, bosses, things like that. This could represent father, grandfather, because it's cups, it's that emotional connection. It could represent husband energy, if you've got that, or partner energy. If a partner's got a very masculine vibe of any gender, that king can sometimes come through with that masculine energy. But it does feel like there is a strong connection around you at the moment, dealing with that emotional side of you. Let's go to what you need to know. The Four of Pentacles. So there is a need at the moment to keep your feet on the ground in terms of finances. It feels like you are being pulled financially onto one aspect, but you need to keep your feet on the ground, even above and beyond temptation, because the 4 is reversed. It's like there's hang on, Wispy, are we saying this isn't? Let me have a look, Wispy. 7, right, okay. There's financial decisions here, right? Because the 7 is about financial choices, difficult choices. Is it now the time to, cash in your pension, or cash in your ISA, or cash in your whatever? Because we've got these we've got these 7 pentacles on this plant. So this is like your money plant, right? And it's coming to fruition. It's coming to the point of being able to be harvested. But you can see we've got tendrils behind these, and on the other side of this, are there more buds that are going to grow into more pentacles? We don't know. We can see that there's one on the ground still happily growing, so it's almost like a pumpkin, an offshoot. If we leave this, is it going to produce more fruit? But then if we do leave this, are we going to wait too long and all the fruit's going to go rotten? Do you know what I mean? That's a big question there. I think this 4 could be saying you need... Okay, thank you, Wispy. Although you want to save, and although you want to keep things very much grounded financially, there is something you need to do that isn't grounded, if that makes sense. Because this card's reversed, it's saying that, look, this is what you want to do, but there is a reason. There is something happening here in your life that it might be a good time to either make an investment, or it might be a good time to spend some money on whatever it is that needs financing. So whether that is spending some money on yourself, or investing something, or taking some money out of one account, moving it, there is something here that is absolutely saying there is a potential need or important use for some finances that you might have got in savings or in bonds or put away somewhere. So then, Wispy, connecting the King of Cups, this emotional connection, to the 4 of Pentacles. We got the 3 of Cups reversed. Okay, so the 3 of Cups is talking about almost sisterhood, but the reversal here is saying that there's something here that perhaps doesn't feel entirely earned from that sisterhood. Perhaps there's somebody around you that is asking for finances, or asking for support, asking for money, but you don't feel that they're entirely genuine. There's something here, because of this cup connection, there's something here where your emotions are telling you one thing, but your gut instinct is saying, no, that doesn't feel right. That isn't, something's not right there. You need to borrow $1,000, but then when you're going to go on holiday with that $1,000, I mean, you know what I mean? There's something here that doesn't quite fit. So then, the 4 to the 7. We've got the 6 of Wands reversed as well. Someone is definitely trying to pull some wool over your eyes here, because the 6 of Wands, when it's like this, is about rejoicing, spending time within the community, or in this case with the other soldiers that you've battled, and you've won the victory, and you're coming back home all victorious with your wreath, and everything's lovely. But there's something here that doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel true. So, and it's linked to this 3 of Cups. So whatever this 3 sisters element is, this grace, this friendship sort of circle, it doesn't feel genuine with this 6 of Wands. It's almost like they're trying to blow smoke up your ass for some reason, and to persuade your decision, right? So we've got the King of Cups and the 3 trying to get you to spend more, or get you to release some money somehow, and then the 6 of Wands linked into this 3 is kind of saying, oh, but you'll be able to come and do this and think about this, and aren't we wonderful because of this? But this reversal doesn't ring true to me, and it's making this decision harder. So whatever this financial decision is, and the 8 of Wands as your root, really, sorry, I just bashed the camera, didn't I? The 8 of Wands as your root card. Well, the 8 of Wands is all about indecision. The Eight of Wands is all about, all of these wands have been thrown out of the window, right? These are all the different aspects of your life that grant you your sense of security, right? You've thrown them all out the window. Everything is up in the air, and you're going to decide which ones of these you take forward on your journey to the Nine of Wands, right? To that ultimate feeling of assuredness and confidence. You get to pick and choose the ones you take forward. But this is reverse. So people are trying to do this for you. People are trying to come in and say, actually, you need to do X, Y, Z. And they're not allowing you to make those decisions for yourself. So whatever's happening, Judy, listen, if you're getting dreams that relate to all of this, there's something here that the Akashics are trying to tell you, the Akashic records. There's something here that the universe is trying to say, look, some of these decisions aren't coming from you. This at the root is really interesting. Someone is trying to underpin your sense of self and your sense of confidence in order to kind of have this idea of family and this idea of community, to then get access to money that you are still uncertain of. You are still, you're pondering these decisions about, should you do this now or leave it? And they're acting on it directly. If we take this card out, we've got the King of Cups coming in, saying, love, oh, I love you, I love you, I love you, control, but love. Then we've got the three sisters, the three graces coming in with their, we're all sisters here, let's do things together, we're all lovely, we've got your back. And then they're trying to get you to make some really odd choices and to take everything that you know and to kind of risk it all on the I think this is the same sort of connection, on the same community element and this same feeling of, well, other people deserve more and we've all been in this together and actually, come on, give us your money. I think that's what this is. That ultimately this is that journey of somebody trying to get you to decide about your future finances. And it doesn't need to be that you've got thousands of pounds in savings. It could be that someone's just trying to get in on that level. It could be moving in with you, right? It could be as simple as moving in, or as simple as borrowing your car, or whatever it may be that has value to you. They're wanting you to somehow give it up, right? Harvest that early, do the work, harvest it before it's fully ready, if that makes sense. I hope that helps, Judy. It's a really interesting reading, and I'm going to come into the live chat. Let me just swap the camera over. I'm going to come into the live chat and just see what you've got to say, because it really does feel like there is something here around the monies. Let me have a look. Oh, it makes so much sense. Well, I'm glad it makes sense to one of us. I'm glad it makes sense to one of us. Right. Yes. Oh, thank you. Well, there you go then. I'm glad that helped, Judy. I really am. Whatever it is, don't necessarily trust what those people are saying. Right? Don't necessarily trust them, because there's a certain ick in the vibe, if that makes sense. I'm getting shades of ick. Talking of which, thank you, Neil. I will find out. Neil's sending me like essays on Pamela Coleman Smith. I will find out, because I read somewhere that she was living with another woman in a couple at one point, and there was this whole thing about like somebody, some practitioners trying to claim her as a lesbian, and all of this sort of stuff. But no, honestly, Neil, I think it's fascinating. We'll have to do a thing about Pamela Coleman Smith, and I'll have to do an undigging. We'll do an episode on the podcast. But anyway, thank you ever so much for that positive affirmation of the reading, Judy. That's really lovely. You've been feeling some shady energy from a few folks. That's it. That's it. You see, or you know, my darling. You know, I give it as it is. You know, I tell it as it is. Even with this original deck, what that means. But this deck is full on, isn't it? Bear with me. I'm just going to select my coffee. Oh, he's made me a lovely cup of coffee. He's made me a lovely cup of coffee. Yes. Yes, no, I agree, Neil. Neil's very, very, very intelligent. He's just put into the moderator's WhatsApp space. He said, possibly gay, but a lot of women paired up later in life if they were unmarried. Very true, very true, very true. Very, very true. But yes, she was an interesting woman. An interesting woman. Yes, an interesting woman. Anyway, right, it looks as if... Let me just double check on the other page. It looks as if we are all out of super chats. Yes, we are. So then, if you would like a free reading, I'm going to open up the list right now for a free reading. When I say open up the list, I mean open up the round, because there isn't a list. If you want a free reading, what I'm going to do, once I open the round, you have to put your question in, starting with the word question, okay? And then what will happen is I will pick one of those at random. Depending on how many people put their questions in, it could be, hello, juicy big sexy, juicy big sexy. How do you say that? Sexy. So yes, start your question with the word question, right? And then I will pick one of those at random. I've got a spinny wheel, I've got funny dice, I've got talismans, all sorts of bits and pieces. And then I will pick one out of all those questions, right? And then we'll read that one. It's a 3-card reading, so a bit more detailed than some channels, but not as detailed as the super chat questions. So then, that is what you need to do. And we are going ahead and opening that round now. There you go. The round is officially open, so go ahead and put your question into the live chat, starting with the word question. And just in case you don't know what to do, here is our Graham with a quick recap. Okay, so then let's have a look in the chat. Let me just take that back, crawl off the bottom of the screen. There we go. And okay. Spiritual inspiration. It looks as if you're the only person to ask a question in that block. So yes, my darling, you get the next reading. So I don't need to press any buttons or do any spinnies or anything. You are going to get the next question, my darling. So yes, I'll do the longer version of it. There we go. I'll pin the longer version of it, my darling. So then let me have a look. Oh, you can't see Juicy Big. Right. That's interesting. You can't see that one, Ed. Sorry, one of the moderators is just sending a message saying they can't see all of the messages in the live chat, which is very strange. Never mind. Right, we're going to crack on. So then, spiritual inspiration, I'm going to hit this magic button. Your question's coming up in 15 seconds. Right then, what will your card say? Let's have a look. It could be that reason, Neil. It could be that reason, Ed. Have a look in your settings on the YouTubes, on the magic YouTubes, and see if there's a certain word that's blocked. I think probably what Neil's saying in the chat about, so basically we've got Big Sexy as one of the people on today. Hello, my darling. Welcome to you. But as a moderator, it appears that Ed can't actually see your question. So that's very interesting. We've not had that before. So the chat is just trying to work out, or the mods in the WhatsApp chat are trying to work out why there's a glitch. But also, I've got to say, it's YouTube. We're used to glitches. There is more than a glitch in the matrix with this one, you know what I'm saying? So then, let's do your bell. There we go. And we'll bring in, no, just made the list. We'll bring in Wispy. So then, Wispy, my darling, spiritual inspiration has a question. Their son is visiting his father, who abandoned him when he was young, and they're reuniting in Dubai. Will spiritual inspiration's son have a good time? Okay, so we're looking at it from spiritual inspiration's son's perspective. Will spiritual inspiration junior have a flaming heck, Wispy? Don't jump lots of cards. We're doing 3 cards. If you want a single card to swap, to jump, you have to do a single card to jump. That's how it works. You know this by now. Right, let's go for it. So, here we go. Do the drop. There we go. There we go. Right then. There. So then, Wispy, is spiritual inspiration junior going to have a good time with his father in Dubai? We're going to have a look at the where your son is. Fine. Oh, that's interesting that that's come back up again. That got a big shuffle and that's come up again. Interesting. Oh, strength and the high priestess. Oh, interesting journey. Right, so where your son is. So 4 of Pentacles, trying to balance money, trying to keep things, keep their feet on the ground, even in a situation where there's a lot of money, if that makes sense. So that's interesting because Dubai, there's different parts of Dubai, isn't there? There's like the ultra wealthy element, and then there's also a much poorer element in Dubai. So that's really interesting. It's saying that you know, to keep the feet on the ground, to keep for your son not to get swept up in the financial element that's over there. Do you know what I mean? In the ivory towers and the glittering diamond, you know, festooned cars and all of that, the glitterati element, because there is that, but there's also a lot of poverty. In the what your son needs to know is strength. So again, I think this is really important because it's talking about maintaining that inner strength and trying to remember that yes they're reuniting, but his father wasn't there for an awful lot, right? And to keep that strength, to stay strong, and remembering that, you know, your son's been through an awful lot with you, and without his father in his life, and not to get swayed, because it feels like there could be a bit of swaying going on, if that makes sense. But yeah, it does feel a little bit, it feels a little bit like your son needs to remember, kind of remember where he's from. I don't even know where that's coming from, but it kind of feels like, yeah, your son needs to keep strength and not get swayed with this money element going on. I don't know whether his father is a lot more wealthy or his father, you know, is part of the glitterati in Dubai, but it definitely feels like that's going to be a big pull. And then the High Priestess coming up in the opportunity, and the High Priestess, this could be an opportunity for you, or this could be related to your son's spirituality. It could be that going to a country which has a very, very specific sort of religious and ethical sort of governance and feel, it could well be that your son will get connected with that spiritual side, because that's what the High Priestess is related to. It could also be, though, if you are religious, spiritual inspiration, it could be that your son will find that connection with you afterwards. It does feel like this is going to be a big event for your son, right? That money element, needing to maintain that strength and having that High Priestess energy come in, it could well be that your son is going to kind of almost fall in love with the place, not necessarily with his father to have that sort of, you know, full-on father-son relationship, but it could be that he'll fall in love with Dubai and the spirituality there, and that mix of everything that makes up what Dubai is, certainly from our perspective in the West. But it does feel as if it's going to be a fairly big changing event to have two majors come up in a 3-card reading, and to have both of them being that reminder to keep strong, and having that really strong spiritual element where it's by the book. The High Priestess is not a sort of a relaxed loosey-goosey priestess. She is by the book. You do it this way. This is where morning prayers are. This is when afternoon prayers are. This is when the evening prayers are. This is what we eat. This is what we do. This is when we do this. Do you know what I mean? These are fixed. She's a tough mistress, the High Priestess. There are fixed rules that if that makes sense. There are fixed rules that she wants to keep to. So yeah, hopefully that helps, my darling, and hopefully that makes some sort of sense. It does feel like it's going to be a big change. So yeah, hopefully that helps. It feels like it's going to be a big event. So then, thank you ever so much for your question, Spiritual Inspiration. Let me just swap the camera over. I do think your son is going to come back maybe a changed person. That High Priestess card coming in, I think that faith element that she brings, I think that could be a very, very, very deep part of your son's life moving forward, and I hope that helps. Thank you, my darling, no problem. Right then, just before we move forward for another set of readings, I am going to hit some magic buttons, because you all may know how much I love supporting the people that support me on this channel, the moderators. They are the most amazing bunch of people that you are ever likely to engage with in your life. Trust me, these 4 people, 5 including my nibbling, but these 4 people are just the best bunch of human beings ever. And so when I can, I like to give back to them by supporting their little local shops, and that's what I'm doing now.
Legend has it that it was written by the Dark Ones. It is coming. Necronomicon. Strange tales of the supernatural and the unearthly, when the fabled Necronomicon unleashes its ancient secrets.
The secrets of the Necronomicon do not come cheap.
Necronomicon.
What's in the basket? Easter eggs?
So yes, Necronomicon is written by Necro Neil here on the channel, and it is a horror zine with all sorts of reviews and things like that from videos, some really recent and some much older. In fact, the ones for this issue, they've got 3 of my favourite films. Well, one of my favourite films, its sequel, and then it's another sequel. And it's the Hellraiser films. It's got the first 3 that Neil's reviewed in this one. I don't know whether he's ever going to get up and review like the 12th film that I think we're on now. Hopefully not, because some of them are really, really bad. But he reviews that sort of stuff. So do go and check out Necronomicon. If you like horror movies and things like that, do please go and check it out. And then, if you're also ever in the market, I mean, we've had Summer Solstice, but if you are in the market for some really cool jewellery, just stay tuned. Blue Chalice is a small business making crafty creations for the witchy community. From jewellery to wall hangings, witch bells to altar tiles. Why not have a look at bluechalice.etsy.com. Yes, Holland is very talented. Not only do they do things like that, they also... Where's it gone? Where's my picture gone? Hang on. Hang on. It's here. It's here. I'm knocking everything over. Hang on. There goes my coffee cup. Ooh. Look. Look what Holland did. It's me, sort of. It's a thin cartoon comic version of me. Look. The pronoun protector. Yay! Holland is very, very clever, very artistic, and is also starting a second channel for musical composers. So yeah, do please check that out when you can. And they're both amazing people as well, as is Patricia, as is Ed. Love my moderators to death. So big kisses for everybody. Yes, the Blue Chalice link is there. Look, etsy.com/Blue Chalice. Do go and check them out if you're in the market for some witchy bits and bobsies. Right then, I've paid me taxes now. I paid me due, thanks to the mods. Yes, paid me due. So then, yes, they are, Judy. They are starting a second channel. To be fair, this will be their 3rd channel because they do have. Can I remind people what it is, Holland? They have something called the Imaginary Kazoo Orchestra. It's amazing. If you like classical music, right? If you're into the old Brahms and Beethoven and Shostakovich, all of that, all the names that I can't say, right? All the names where you need to have a full set of teeth to be able to say the names, and these are all plastic. You know the ones I mean? Shostakovich, that one. That did that lovely that one. And you know that one where they go bing ding 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 ding, shave and a haircut, 2 bits, that song, you know, all of that. Yep, all of that. But sung with or performed with kazoos. Do check it out. It's very, very, very good and very, very, very funny. You will watch 2001 A Space Odyssey with a very different thought going through your head when you have heard Also Sprach Zarathustra on kazoos. Check it out. Imaginary Kazoo Orchestra here on the YouTubes. Very good. Very, very good. Very good. Check it out. Right then. All of that being said, Patricia won't have a channel. I've tried to get Patricia a channel. I've tried. Patricia doesn't want a channel. Now, Patricia's got the biggest collection of books and tarot cards and esoteric stuff. She could have billions of people watching as she goes through her museum quality collection of esoteric shit, but she doesn't want a channel. And Ed, I don't know why Ed's not got a channel. Why haven't you got a channel, Ed? Your life is incredibly interesting. You can have a wonderful channel on the YouTubes, but Ed is also like, just an amazing person. Amazing person. I've got amazing people that help me on here. So yes. Right then, I think it's time. Shall we do another reading? I know, right? I'm here quite happily. Now, I know you don't post on it anymore, but your content is still on there and it's very good. Also, Sprack Zarathustra. Yes. And all sorts of other things. It's very good. Yes, indeed. Go ahead and pop your question into the live chat, starting with the word question. If you would like a tarot reading on the channel, that will be a free reading, a 3-card reading. So go ahead and do that. The round is open right now. That's the word I was trying to say. Yes, it is. It's open right now. So go and do that if you would like yourself a free tarot reading, and I will grab one of them at random. We're either going to do a talisman toss or we get to spin the thing. It's up to you. We can spin the thing or we can do a talisman toss. It depends on how many question requests we get in. But do those now, get those in, and hopefully we'll have a reading straight after this. Wow, it looks like we have a gap in the readings at the moment. So I've got one in from Big Juicy Big Sexy. I will have a little look at yours in just a second. I was just about to pull up Patricia's comment. You have a supermarket of witchy stuff, but only for you. I have accepted any clearance items. I will happily accept any clearance items, and they do eventually. They go on the shelf, like some of these up here are from Patricia, and they go on the shelf to be reviewed. So there's that one's from Patricia, that one's from Patricia, and I think that one is as well. Okay. Oh no, that one there in the bag is, that one there is, and that one is. And then I've got the Before Tarot, which is also from Patricia. That's also coming up soon. Ed's too tired, he says, or too Ed's too tired to do the videos on the YouTube. That's what it is. Right then. So Juicy Big Sexy, good evening to you. Welcome to the channel, by the way. I think this is the first time that you've been here, or at least the first time that you have commented on the channel. So thank you very much for being here at the moment. That is grand. Let me just, yeah. So yeah, that is fantastic. By the way, if you haven't already, please give the video a like. And also hit the hit your subscription button, hit the subscribe, and then hit that magic bell, right? The bell icon, because that does notify YouTube that you want to be told whenever I go live, right? It's really, it's an important way of getting notified, especially as I'm starting to do more of the random videos with not a lot of warning, if that makes sense, when I'm just going to do a video or something like that. So if you want to be notified, please do hit that subscribe and dong your bell. So then, Big Juicy, no, I don't know why I keep trying to call you Big Juicy Sexy, but Juicy Big Sexy, just as juicy, just as big, and just as sexy. So yes, let's have a wee look. I'm going to swap the camera over for you, my darling. Here we go. So Juicy Big Sexy, Juicy Big Sexy, right? That's what we're going with, Juicy Big Sexy. So then, Wispy, good evening to you, my darling. as always, Wispy, we cleanse with the bell first and we bring in Wispy, our air elemental. So if you see this lovely depiction of a dragon here, if you imagine this dragon made out of smoke, ether, the wispy clouds, little fluttering bits of stuff that you see in the corner of your eye, if that is what this lovely dragon was made out of, that would be Wispy. Right, that's Wispy's physical form, but they are actually an air elemental aggregor. And there's a whole podcast episode down in the description box. If you scroll down to you see where the page break is, there's a whole podcast episode where I talk about my dragons. We've got 5 dragons, one for each of the elements, and currently our earth elemental is away helping with some healing, and Wispy is the one that we normally interact with here on this channel, because Wispy is the one that interacts with the Akashic records. So yes, it's good. Right, so then Wispy, does Adam have feelings for Juicy Big Sexy? That's what we want to know. Does Adam have feelings for Juicy Big Sexy? Let's have a look. So then, does Adam have feelings for Juicy Big Sexy?
My.
We're going to do your 3-card drop. We'll go with, I tell you what, what does Adam, where Adam is in their life, what Adam's feelings are towards you, and what the relationship future might be. Okay? So where Adam is in their life, what Adam's feelings towards you are, and where the relationship future might go. Okay, Wispy? So where Adam is in their life. Oh, 2 of Cups. Oh, very nice. Very nice. I'll explain why. What Adam's feelings for you are. Ooh, the Fool reversed. That's not bad. That's not a negative. That's really good. And the relationship future. Ooh, the 6 of Pentacles. A little bit interesting. So Adam's where Adam is in their life, Adam has feelings and emotions for another person. Whether this is you or not, we'll have to see, but we've got this connection here between the 2 people. Now, 2s for me are always couples coming together, right? That's always what I see with a 2. So this feels like, you can see here, look at this hand. This is the giveaway. The important card, the lion-headed with the eagle wings, all of that. The caduceus here, all of that. The lovely headbands, blah, blah, blah. All of that. The 2 cups, forget everything. Apart from that little hand. Because that hand from him is caressing the left hand of this other person. So these 2 people, the right hand is just like, how can I show you? Like this, right? So they're holding a cup and the hand's going, just touching, caressing. This is a romantic card, right? And again, this is the most traditional. This is based on the original Rider-Waite. They've just upped the ante with the colours. But this is the original artwork. So just look at that little hint that there is something romantic going on. So is this a first date? Is this a second date, or whatever it is? There is an awful lot here, right? An awful lot here telling us that this is a romantic connection. So where Adam is right now, there is definitely a romantic connection. Adam's feelings towards yourself, we've got the Fool. Now, I don't know, Juicy Big Sexy, how old Adam is, right? But the Fool is not a negative card. It's not a positive card. It's a 0 card, look. Why is it a 0 card? Because it's the first card of the deck, and it's starting at a very clear starting point where there is no history, right? Everything starts from this 0 card. There's no intent, no nothing. The Fool is starting off on a brand new, fresh journey. However, this Fool is reversed. So it's saying one of 2 things. If Adam is fairly young and hasn't got a lot of relationship experience, then the Fool is setting off for the first time, and it's almost like there is a trepidation here with the Fool, because again, remember I asked you, this card is what Adam's feelings are. So it could be that Adam is a bit scared, a little bit nervous about taking these first steps, because the Fool hasn't taken those steps before, because it's the 0 card. It's neither negative nor positive. It is just where we're starting from. The other meaning for the Fool reverse is it could well be that the Fool has gone completely through a journey and is starting over. So it could be, if Adam is a little bit older and has come out of a relationship, it could be that the Fool has gone from the 0 all the way through to the 21st card, which is the World, and has basically gone through that entire journey, because we talk about the journey of the Fool, got to the World, and then step through the portal that you can see with that World card. And when they step through that portal, they literally start again. It's like being reborn. They start again in the Fool's position. Sometimes when we're talking about relationships and we're talking about human beings that live, longer lives than perhaps ever before, the Fool can represent that or starting of a new journey, especially when we're looking at relationships. So it could well be that Adam's had relationships in the past, has come out of it, and is now starting over with a brand new set of eyes in a brand new relationship. Either way, it's talking about a little bit of innocence when it comes to yourself and a relationship there. And then we've got in the relationship future, we've got the 6 of Pentacles reversed. Now the 6 of Pentacles is interesting because it's talking about, you can see here we've got these scales, and we've got this element of the rich giving to the poor, right? It's crumbs, it's pennies, but there is this element here of Pentacles is work, career, finances. So as Cups was relationships, emotions, happiness, all of that stuff, Pentacles is work, career, finances. So there is something here saying that the relationship future, it might be a little bit misbalanced because this is coming in reversed. And so it may well be that perhaps one of you is more financially sort of better set up than the other. So there could be a financial element towards this. There could also be this element of the two of you doing charitable works together in order to give back in that way. I don't know. It feels, if I had to have a guess, I would say that Adam does have feelings for you. There is a definite connection here, definitely with the 2 of Cups, and with the Fool coming in with that, looking at it as a brand new relationship, even though maybe it's not the first time round. And then the 6 of Pentacles is that element of, it might take a bit of work, there might be a bit of an imbalance again with the scales going into this. So if you are more experienced in a relationship than Adam, then it may well be this card can be talking about the experience and the amount of work and effort that it will take to keep a relationship going. Because it could well be that, you're used to living with someone and Adam isn't, or vice versa. There's definitely a connection here though, and there is definitely moving forward. This does not rule out any relationship at all. It's just saying watch out for any imbalances. In the same way that I'm incredibly mindful of the idea of parasocial relationships because I'm here on the YouTubes, I have to be very mindful of how I interact with people. And in this instance, again, the relationship can quite happily work, but if one of you is more experienced either within relationships in general or has had a deeper connection with somebody than the other, say one of you's coming out of a marriage or whatever, then that imbalance as well is just something to be aware of. It's not a negative, it's not a positive, it's just saying be aware of that. Hope that helps, Juicy Big Sexy. Love your name. Do please join us for future Sundays and Tuesdays, but also, hang on, I need to sneeze. No, yes, no. Is that it? Is it just one sneeze? It might just be one sneeze. Sorry about that. Oh. Who sneezes just once? Apparently me. So yes, there you go. Hopefully that helps. Don't forget we're here every Sunday, and also do not forget that we are always wanting to be nosy buggers in someone else's wedding. So we want an invite to a wedding, right? That's what we want. I don't care about anybody's gender. I don't care about anybody's situation. We can join by Zoom wherever you are in the world. We just want our first Beyond Authentic wedding where you've got together through a reading here, and then a few weeks, months, years down the line, there's a wedding. That's what we want, right? I want an excuse to buy a wedding hat. Okay, it looked like I had makeup streaming down my face. I don't. But yes. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm right on it. I know, right? I've been doing this 29 years. Can you believe it? I don't know how, because I'm only 32 years old. So I don't know how I've been doing it 29 years. But yes. Ed, you can get a double mattress in your car. Okay. Where is the chat going? Abandon all hope, but do bring your Guinness glass. Why would you bring your Guinness glass? Well, you're going where the Guinness is good. You're going on holiday. And that sure as anything will not be through the pearly gates. What? Who's going to pearly gates? What have I missed? What's happening? If you get to those pearly gates or any other kind of gates, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? I don't like the way this chat is going. Hang on. You're not leaving us anytime soon. What's going on? Are you all right? Why are you putting things in your wheel? She's okay. Right, okay. What's... I don't know. Look, you lot send the chat in very strange places. Oh, okay. She said the will thing and you riffed from there. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Please don't do that while I'm on a reading and I come back to it and it's like, oh my God. LaQuantus Davis, hang on a second, my darling. Hang on. We'll open up a free round in a minute. This is hilarious. Was it? You panicked me, you buggers. You want a reason to buy a new hat as well. I know, right? Why can't we can't, lots of weddings. Other people, right? Listen, rant time. Other people, I mean, I'm about to say a rant, but I know the answer, right? Other people get invited to weddings every other week in the summer. Oh, I'm off to a wedding, I'm off to a wedding, I'm off to a wedding, right? I don't get invited to no weddings or nothing. I don't even get invited to funerals, right? But then I also know the reason because I'm not very good around people and don't like people and I don't really do people. So, yeah, that's probably the reason why. But, yeah. Can we please not, mods, can we please not go off on a tangent where as soon as I come back in the live chat, it looks as if one of you is about to snuff it and you're already divvying up their collection of witchy bits. But anyway, panicking me there. Shall we have another round? That's what was going on in my head. Right, I think we should. I think it is time to open up another round. So let's go ahead. If you would like a tarot reading, pop your question into the live chat, starting with the word question. It wasn't funny, Judy. I had a proper little, like, what the hell is going on moment. But go ahead, stick your request in the live chat, starting with the word question, and I will grab one of them at random. I've got some Dungeons and Dungeons dice. You know what those are, right? And I've got a spinny thing now that I haven't used yet. So I want an excuse to use the spinny thing. So if you are wanting a tarot question answered, go ahead, put it in the live chat. Start with the word question, and I will grab one of them at random. Okay, so I will grab one at random. That is how it works. Just in case you didn't get the opportunity before, go ahead and do that now. And I will pick one at random after this. I tell you what, you're all ever so polite this week, because you're putting your questions in one at a time, which is great. But I've got this. Look, I can't even play. I want to spin the thing. I want to spin the spinny thing. It's fine. LaQuantus, my darling LaQuantus Davis, you are up. Your question is up, and we're going to do your reading in exactly 7 seconds time. Yes, indeed. Get the answers you need, my darling. Let's have a look. Cleanse the space, bring in the dragon, Wispy. And Wispy, LaQuantus Davis wants to know why I can't shuffle. No, LaQuantus Davis wants to know, will LaQuantus and Jaylin get back together? Will LaQuantus and Jaylin get back together? Let's have a look in the cards, with the cards. So, will LaQuantus and Jaylin get back together? What do we think, Wispy? Let's see what the cards have to say today. There we go. So then, if we do the cut, gonna go again, it's gonna go again. Oh, I could feel it on my thumb. Right then, so we're gonna go with the, I tell you what, past, present, future. The most simple of all, the past. The Fool again, for about the 4th time, and last time we saw it, the Fool was reversed. So literally, it's coming upright, it's coming reversed. Wispy, you really like the Fool today. The present, Strength, the 2nd time we've had that today. And in the relationship in the future, we've got the 7 of Cups. Interesting. So then, I need to go back onto that other screen. So we've got the Fool. Now, the Fool doesn't mean that you two are or were foolish, right? It's talking about in the past, maybe you were very naive, maybe you were quite young going into the relationship, because the Fool hasn't had those rough edges knocked off yet. The Fool still thinks the world is like a picture book, like a fairy book, like, you know, like you see in Hallmark movies or in Disney films. The Fool is very naive when it comes to actual relationships. And so when this is in the past position, it kind of gives the vibe that actually, I think the two of you were maybe a little young or maybe a little naive once that happened, if that makes sense. Right. In the present position, we've got the we've got the Strength card. Now, Strength reversed, right? So I think there was something that if you, when you split, I kind of want to say that you weren't strong enough together. I don't know what it is, but it feels like I'm getting this impression. Thank you, Wispy. I'm getting this feeling that the strength card didn't come out of nowhere. It wasn't that you just weren't strong, you just weren't a match. It's like something happened and there wasn't that support there for one of you. Maybe you weren't supportive in the way Jalen needed, or Jalen wasn't supported in the way that you needed at that time, because either you or Jalen didn't have the strength to handle the relationship whilst there was this other thing going on. So it's almost like, and I'm not saying it was, but it's almost like there was a bereavement and the relationship suffered because that was all encompassing, or you know, some other huge life event happened and that had to be dealt with, and one of you wasn't able to support the other in that for whatever reason, and there wasn't, it's not like it was done on purpose. It's not like the split was like we hate each other. It feels like it was just this huge thing happened away from the center of the relationship and it pulled one of you off course, and what that person needed was the other one to come with, and there wasn't that strength. This person didn't have that strength to vary and to follow that path for a bit as support. I don't know why I'm saying that, Laquantis, but that is what it feels like, with that strength card being there. And then we've got the Seven of Cups coming up in the Seven of Cups coming up, in the future position, in the relationship future. Now this is interesting because this does talk about having tough choices of gifts. Now this is reversed, and so the cups is your relationship, so that is relationships, emotions, love, friendship, all of those lovely positive things, right? Really lovely, all of that. But it's talking about trying to find the purpose, or trying to find the gifts within that relationship, right? And choosing where you want to head. So it may well be that you want a dragon, or you want the winner's wreath, but look, it comes with a warning, or you want the gold and the gems, the finances, or maybe you want this idea of a castle in the clouds, right? You want home. Maybe you want this goddess figure, or this figure that is covered and is glow. You know what I mean? There's lots of, excuse me, I'm hiccuping. There's lots of elements here that it seems are on offer. So there's lots of types of the two of you getting back together. There's lots of different ways that can happen. It could be that you need to go and, again, depending on how this strength card went, if Jalen was dealing with stuff and you weren't able to support, maybe you need to go back and find a connection there and find a way of supporting. Or maybe if it was the other way around, maybe Jalen needs to find a way to show that support to you that was missing. Whatever it is, it's like that strength between you needs to be re-established if you're going to get back together. Now I'm saying if, because the 7 is reversed, so it's talking about there being challenges here. It isn't just a case of you've reached this point in the relationship, where do you want to go forward, how do you want to go forward, like the 7s would usually say. This is that moment where, like, you've got to decide if you even want to go forward. And I think that is between the two of you. And so you're asking, will you and Jalen get back together? I think there is an opportunity here that you could. It's just the two of you have to decide that together, and that takes communication, if that makes sense, because there's lots of different options here. There's lots of different cups with different elements in that you could go down. You could go down lots of different routes to get back together, right? You absolutely could. You absolutely could decide that what you actually want is kids and marriage and all of that. You absolutely could decide that what you want is, you know, lots of loving, and maybe keep it kind of, how can I put it? Keep it physical without getting too emotionally involved. It could be that you want that emotional connection but you don't want the physical. Do you know what I mean? It could be all the way, lots and lots of different ways to have a relationship with each other, but you've got to decide together. And this is why it's reversed. It's saying there is a strong possibility of finding yourselves in a relationship in the future. There is a very, very strong possibility of doing that, and the two of you coming together and moving forward from whatever's happened. But you've got to decide that, and you've got to decide together, if we are going to get back together, how does this look for us? What do we need? And that's going to take a conversation, a very open conversation. Okay, so this didn't work because now let's have this conversation. If that is what you mean, if that is what you want, sorry. Okay, so I do think the opportunity is there. It's just, you might have to make that first move. Even if you weren't in the wrong, you might have to make that first move, reach out to Jaylin and basically say, look, this is what I want from us moving forward. If that's possible, if that's something we can do, if that's something you want as well, then let's go for it. If Jaylin then comes back and says, actually, do you know what? I don't want that, then fair enough. But Jaylin might say, I don't want that. I'm not ready for that, but I'm ready for this. Do you know what I mean? So it could be that he doesn't want to, or Jaylin doesn't want to get married, but you'll be living together as a commitment. Or it could be that, you know, Jaylin wants the commitment from a relationship before, you know, wants to know you're headed that way for marriage before things happen, if that makes sense. Hopefully, my darling, that gives you some answers. It does feel as if the opportunity is there to get back together, if that is what you both want, but you're gonna have to have a really grown-up adult conversation. I know they suck, I hate them, but sometimes in life you've just got to be an adult, and this is that adult conversation. This is really important. It could even be right in the bedroom, one of you wants to do things that are a little bit out of the missionary position. Do you know what I mean? And you need a conversation about that in terms of safe words. It could be all sorts of different connotations, because you've got the 7, which is giving you tons of options, tons of choices to work through what you want and how you want your relationship to look. But you have to have that conversation in order for it to change. So hopefully, my darling, that gives you an insight, and I hope that helps. And thank you ever so much for your question. Right then, let's go back into the live chat and swap the camera, and like that. Oh, no. There we go. Right then, let me have a look. Ellis is here. Good evening, Ellis. Hello, Ellis. Where's your quote? There you go. There. Yes, thank you, Patricia. Evening all. You're out at the moment, so can't participate, but thought you'd show your face. Ah, thank you, Ellis. Thank you for popping in. What's that? There's a question about a card with naked people on. Oh, here we go. You were at a metaphysical... I don't know why I keep reading it on the little box. It's easier to read here. Patricia, you were in a metaphysical store recently, and locked in a glass case was a Thoth deck. Okay. Since you're a collector, do you know why this deck was so special? You've never heard of it before. Thoth was the... hang on, I'm sure she's answered it. Thoth is the Aleister Crowley deck. And some of them are really expensive, like hundreds and hundreds of pounds on eBay. For early ones. The Thoth deck is a deck that has lots of... It's interesting that it was in a glass case by itself, because the Thoth deck has lots of demonolatry elements to it, and lots of other bits and bobs and things like that. So it does have a lot of history to it, and a lot of... there's a lot of mythology around it, put it that way. Yes, it's full of Egyptian iconography. It's full of all sorts of bits and bobs and connections. It was. If Neil is on, Neil will be able to tell you some more about the Thoth deck, and Crowley's element, and Crowley's sort of where a lot of that came from. It's very high magic. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Yeah, you go. Look, Golden Dawn. It's very, very, very specific. It could be. It could be. It's not. It's got a worse reputation than most people think. Anyway, and yeah, it did, and it was very good. It was very good. I'm dancing with Mr. Crowley. Don't sing, Lisa. Don't sing. I was singing Cher on the. This sums up my musical taste, right? On the members only, I was singing Cher songs, and now I'm desperately wanting to sing Black Sabbath or Ozzy doing Mr. Crowley. But yes, I'm not about to do that. I'm not about to do that. But shall we have one last? There's time for one quick reading. If anybody wants one, it'll be a super quick tarot reading. If anybody wants one, do go ahead. Pop your question into the live chat, starting with your the word question. Go and do that right now. It'll be a super quick question, a super duper quick reading, a quick 3-card rapid fire. So if you want one, grab that right now. It looks like we are done. Right then, we're going to have no more super chats for this evening. Thank you very much. We haven't got time to do a long reading. I'm going to leave this one up for 5 minutes. So if anybody wants a super fast reading, you've got literally about 2 or 3 minutes, not 5, in order to get that. So yes, by the way, Ed, I love your new cheesy picture. It's super cheesy. Crowley designed it based on his own experiences, but got someone else to paint it. Yup. It's full of really deep imagery. Some of it, am I right, Neil, in thinking that it comes from Golden Dawn and Enochian type belief with that sort of higher magic element to it, but it also goes into Crowley's own sort of Santa worshipping type, not worshipping, but the Santa vibes that some of his other stuff does. Good evening, Belinda Jane Harris. Hello, my darling. Lovely to see you popping in. We're literally just finishing up. Judy's off. No, bye Judy, my darling. Thank you ever so much for popping in. It was great seeing you. It wasn't. He didn't use that. Okay, I thought it was. I know it's a whole bunch of mixed up symbolism and mixed up ideas that he came with. I have. Do I have a Thoth? I might have a Thoth deck. I've definitely owned one. Did I send you one, Neil? Did I send? I know I sent you the Cthulhu type deck. I might have to have a look. You know, I might actually have one on my in my collection. I don't know. I might have a Thoth deck. I have definitely had one at one point, but again, it's a bit like the Crow's Magic, where I looked at it and just went, "Oh no. Do not understand this. Far too complex for me." But yes, so I tell you what I am doing this week. I'm going to be doing the review of the Before deck, and I'm going to be using it alongside the Radiant Rider-Waite that I've been using tonight. So it will be the images of what happened just before the go on. I'll pick one at random. What happened just before this, right? Just before that card was taken. If this was a photograph, what happened in the minutes before, just as they were preparing to get themselves ready for that photograph? Do you know what I mean? What happened just before the Wheel of Fortune? Like, did they have to climb up on the clouds? Were there step ladders involved? It's that sort of deck. So I'm going to be reviewing that this week. What's a Thoth deck? It's a particular deck which has a particular system of symbology that relates back to Aleister Crowley, who was very well known for being a Santaist, a Luciferian, but in a way that isn't what most people think of. And he was a very good publicist, self-publicist, for the esoteric. He was very much, he was esoteric, if that makes sense, rather than it being, he was particularly spiritual, particularly this, that, or the other. He was into the magics and all of those things, and into a lot. Neil knows more about Crowley's sort of history and stuff than I do. You see, this is why, Neil, right? The fact that you say you want to get one to look into it, this is why I've never owned or I've never used a Thoth deck, because when I have looked into it, it's kind of, to get the most out of it, you've got to know the background and the symbology. You know what I mean? Like I get my words confused. But yeah, there's a lot of very higher level thinking, a lot of theology, and a lot of complicated ideas and very complicated different ways of thinking. Different ways of thinking, I would say, involved with Crowley. He was written off by the mass media certainly in the 80s, and played into it by bringing out the book called The Satanic Bible, which was not at all what most people thought of as that particular thing, and in fact was very, very different and very a lot less when you read it actually makes a lot of sense. And it's talking about, there's another word for it, it's talking about individualism, basically. Fuck's sake, that's LaVey, not Crowley. What did Crowley do? What was the book that Crowley did? I told you I get the two confused. Yeah, everyone's correcting me because my brain confuses the two. There was... Just read the chat, everybody. Why did I say... I've got the Satanic Bible over there. Why did I say it was Crowley? Of course it was LaVey. Crowley... Well, just look. It's not my thing. But Crowley was heavily... There's the word... A theologian. Lots of theories. Lots of different ways of thinking. There's somebody else in the... yes. And there was somebody else Enochian. Who's the other one? Oh, this is where I wish my memory wasn't Swiss cheesed. There was another... It's Hellfire Club, isn't it? That's Crowley. Who else came out of it at the same time? Oh my gosh. Ugh. There was Crowley. I'm sure LaVey and Crowley were both linked in with Hellfire. Or I might be completely wrong. Oh, come on. Who is it I'm thinking of? Oh, I can't think. There was somebody else who came out in the same type era, but did... It was... It was like all of that, but a really watered down light version. Oh my God. It was like the acceptable version of what those two were saying. It wasn't just, no, not the satanic verses. What was it called then? What was the thing? What was the thing? The group. There was, my brain is completely Swiss cheesed, right? There was Blatsky. No, it wasn't. There's somebody else. There's somebody else. This is why, right? This is why I should never be left alone on the channel when I'm talking about a subject that I don't quite remember, because my brain cannot remember the details, and I go off on tangents, which is why most of my other witchcraft videos are at least partially scripted with bullet points. I can't remember. I'm going to have to look into it. It's like a watered down, acceptable version of what Crowley, LaVey, and the other guy, I can't remember. I can't remember. The more I sit here and go, ooh, I'm not going to remember at all. I keep looking at my... Can you see me just keep looking at my bookshelf going, it's over there somewhere. It's definitely on the bookshelf. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Oh, brain. Yeah, moving on. Moving on. It's time to leave anyway. It's gone 9 o'clock. I know, right? I am just completely and utterly showing up my poor brain. Yeah, throw some names at me. That is really going to bug me now. That is really going to bug me now. But anyway, it just shows my lack of knowledge on Crowley, because, again, a lot of that isn't my thing. Anyway. Oh, it's right on the flaming tip of my tongue. Don't know. Anyway, that's it. I'm going now. Thank you, everybody, for joining. It was really good. Hour and 50 minutes until I started going off on a tangent and my brain completely blanked. Finch or Finchley? Finch? No. It's not Gardner or the Farahs or any of that, because that is in the Wiccan field. There's somewhere that kind of links. Oh, I can't remember. I'm going to have a look into the books, and then we'll do a video or podcast or something where Neil can tell us all about it. But anyway, thank you everybody for joining the live tonight. Sorry the last 10 minutes have turned into Lisa's brain having an absolute meltdown and merging people together, and also probably bringing in comic book knowledge from something I read in a comic book when I was a kid, because that's also a thing that my brain happens. But yes, anyway, that is it from us tonight. And I am hyperfixating on the name, and I cannot get it, which is not good. So thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining me tonight's stream. I'm back on Tuesday evening, where we won't be going off on a tangent, trying to get my brain to function when it doesn't, and where we'll be doing lots of tarot readings and maybe something else as well. I might have some oracle cards that look interesting. So yeah, be around for that. But that is it from us today. And as always, thank you to everybody that came and asked questions. Thank you to all the subscribers. And of course, thank you to the members, and thank you most of all go to my amazing mod team, who try and keep me from going off on tangents when my brain loses it like it just has. But yes, thank you very much everybody. I will see you all very soon, and as we always say, stay you, stay true, stay authentic. Hit your subscribe button, dong your bell if you want YouTube to notify you, especially the members, because I will be doing some members live streams this week where I'm reviewing some more tarot decks to get those videos under my belt, and maybe a couple of other things as well. So do make sure you've got your bells donged and changed to all. But that's it from me, and as I always say, stay you, stay true, stay authentic, and I'll see you on Tuesday.